Chapter 1. Noemi knew something was wrong. The air felt off, stale and heavy, like the house had been holding its breath for too long. Dust clung to the edges of the windowsills, faint outlines of smudged fingers streaking the glass. The scent was worse, not quite rot, but something stagnant, sour, as if the walls themselves had soured with time. Her eyes fell on the portrait above the mantel, a family of 4, frozen in an endless smile. A father, a mother, and their 2 daughters. It felt staged, unnatural, not like a memory captured, but something rehearsed and painted over too many times. A father, a mother, and their 2 daughters. A lie captured in frame and glass. Noemi Green stood before it, her eyes narrowed. The air in the house seemed still, yet somehow heavy, like something rotten lurked beneath the warmth of family photos and cheerful furniture. Her gaze shifted toward the staircase. The warm glow of the living room barely reached it. Shadows swallowed the steps halfway up, and from there, the dark seemed to climb on its own. The space between the walls felt too narrow, the air too still, as if whatever waited above had no intention of letting her leave once she started upward. The living room was bright and inviting, yet the stairs seemed to bleed shadow, dark, narrow steps swallowed by gloom. The further up they climbed, the less light seemed to survive. Noemi stepped forward. The stairs creaked beneath her weight as she stopped halfway up. She peered into the darkness above, still and silent. Something about it made her stomach tighten. She gripped the banister, more to anchor herself than for balance. "Keep moving," she told herself. "You're here to help." The bedroom door groaned open, the hinges dry and scraping. Noemi stepped inside, the air thicker here, humid and stale, clinging to her skin like breath on a mirror. Clothes lay scattered across the floor, stale food cartons piled in the corners. The walls felt too close, like they had been pulled inward over time. The air felt stale, heavy with sweat and something sour. The room was a mess, unwashed clothes strewn across the floor, sheets crumpled on a sagging mattress. Then she noticed the other door. The bathroom door resisted her touch, like something behind it was pushing back. When it finally creaked open, Noemi's breath hitched. Noemi stood in the doorway, her breath catching in her throat. 2 girls lay tangled together on the bathroom floor. Their bodies knotted so tightly it was hard to tell where one began and the other ended. Flies swarmed around them, sluggish and fat, crawling across their paper-thin skin. The air was thick, heavy with the stink of sweat, stale urine, and something else, something sharp and metallic that clawed at the back of Noemi's throat. Their skin looked paper-thin, their faces sunken and waxy, as though they'd been left to marinate in their own sickness. No sunlight touched this room, only the cold glow of the hallway's light stretched inside, flickering weakly along the tiled floor. They shook violently, limbs twitching like marionettes with broken strings. Noemi's throat tightened, her breath catching like a splinter lodged deep in her chest, the bile rising in her throat. The girls barely looked human, their skin stretched too thin over sharp bones, their lips dry and peeling as if they hadn't touched water in days. Their faces reminded her of something far worse, something she thought she had buried long ago. There had been another case. A woman who had locked her mother in the basement for years, feeding her scraps of animal innards and beating her until the old woman started to believe she was something else, something less than human. By the time Noemi had found her, the old woman's mind was gone. She sat in a corner, gnawing on her own fingers, convinced she was some feral thing trapped in human skin. Noemi felt the same dread now, the same sick weight in her chest. These girls weren't there yet, but they were on the path, walking the same cruel road. If Noemi didn't get them out of this house soon, she knew exactly where they'd end up. Noemi exhaled hard, pushing aside her rising panic. She knelt carefully, forcing her voice to remain steady and soft. "Lily? Gloria? Are you 2 okay?" The older girl shifted just enough to reveal her face pale, hollowed, her lips cracked and dry. Her voice barely escaped her throat. "Who are you?" "My name's Noemi," she said gently. "I'm a social worker. The county sent me to check in on you." Noemi's gaze dropped to Lily's ankles. Angry red rings circled her skin rope burns. deep and dark, etched into her flesh like open wounds. And this, Noemi's voice wavered, this doesn't look okay to me. Please, Lily whispered again, her voice thin and tight. Don't talk so loud. They'll be angry if they know you're here. Who will? Naomi softly asked. Mama and Papa, came another whisper, softer, almost childlike. Gloria, the younger of the two, barely raised her head. Noemi's heart thudded. Did they do this to you? Did they hurt you? It's our fault, Lily rasped. We went outside, after they told us not to. Noemi closed her eyes for a beat. She'd heard it before, children convinced their own suffering was deserved. No matter how often she encountered it, it still felt like a cold knife sliding between her ribs. You two stay here, Noemi said, forcing warmth into her voice. I'm going to get us some help, okay? Why can't you just stay with us? Gloria's voice trembled, thin, fragile, like glass threatening to crack. Noemi forced a smile, one she didn't feel. I just need to make a phone call. I'll be back, I promise.
To be continued. Come back for Chapter 2 of Don't Open That Door. Like, subscribe, and stay in the dark with us.